So as I sit here and wait for the AT&T fiber guy to come back, I did just get the AC guy. He just came by and took a look at the unit that was put in 1998. We are getting a quote on replacing our AC unit and or fixing a blower motor so that it can limp along for a little while longer. We'll see which one we do, but thought I'd do a little video on the why and the how we got here. Everybody who knows us knows that we're fairly handy people and that we've been in our current house over on the other side of town for, I don't know, this year will be, I think, 25 years. Yeah, we bought the house in November of 2000, so at the end of this next year, it'll have been 25 years. That is by far the longest that I have ever been in one place in my life. Not that I'm super old or anything, but we moved around a lot growing up. So 25 years in the same town, state, let alone house, is a pretty huge deal for me. Gotten quite cozy over there, like our little house. It's a small house. It's only about 1,300 square foot, but it's fit us just fine. We've thought about moving a time or two, but when you stop and think of what you actually need or whatever and what we'd rather be spending our money on or just different things like that, we've always talked ourselves out of it. We have thoughts in the future of maybe a house closer to the coast or on the coast or something like that, maybe as retirement, but for the most part, we've been just fine where we're at. I mean, it doesn't hurt that our garage over there is massive. It's like its own, I think it's as big as the house almost. Anyway, so then there was thoughts of, well, we're getting older. Are we gonna be able to retire one day? What are we gonna do? Or whatever, and Robert's always got his head in thoughts of how can I make money. Anyway, we have friends we knew who had a house their parents had lived in and she had done a lot of growing up in and everything, and they had moved not too long ago, and he found out that they were selling it, and actually there was somebody already slotted to buy it. So we didn't really think it was going to come about. We thought it was done. There was already somebody in the works to buy it. We knew it was a house that was going to need a lot of work because it was an older home, just, been lived in, and really good bones though, super good bones. It's been leveled recently and it's got a new roof on it. Both of those things done just within the last small handful of years. So really good bones. And as we ripped the carpet out and everything, that just solidified that. Concrete looks pretty good. Anyway, so we didn't really think that was going to be an option and we didn't talk much about it. Robert was just kind of like, oh, that would have been cool. Well, as it so happens, something happened with the other buyer, and we were able to put our offer in. So it was almost kind of a quick decision to do it, just because these kind of opportunities don't come around a whole lot. Anyway, so I had literally only looked at the house once. Robert had been over here numerous times. I was kind of going off of faith on my side. I was like, yeah, we can, we've remodeled just about every room in our house over there, but keep in mind, we did it over a 20-year span, 20-plus year span. Definitely not planning on another 20-year remodel for this. This needs to go a whole lot quicker. So anyway, that's kind of how this came about. And then in conjunction with that, it was decided, and my mom and my sister from Arkansas decided they were ready to move. This is something we've been trying to talk them into for a while. My whole family's been trying to talk them into for a while. They needed to get back around some family. They were there. They had moved there originally to take care of my grandparents. Well, they since passed years ago. So, and they got, family there in church and all. So it was just really hard for them to think about leaving the area. But they finally decided to pull that trigger, and so now they were ready to come down here, and we were like, well, don't really know how we're going to do this or what we're going to do and how this is going to work, but we'll buy this house. We'll get it to a livable condition. What that definition is, we're still figuring out. I mean, you could move in here right now. Everything, there's a working toilet and shower and everything. It's just, no flooring, that kind of stuff. But anyway, so we're like, well, we can get it into a livable condition. Mom and Sherry can move in here, give them a home while we continue to work on the house. And while we continue to try to figure out and make a decision what we personally want to do. Because part of us, this is a bigger house than ours over there. It has things like a fireplace, which I've always wanted a fireplace. The yard is massive. There's just a lot of potential with this house. So we're leaving that decision kind of on the side. And we'll see how the remodel in this house progresses. If we start seeing ourselves living here, if this is where we think we want to finish up our time here in Taylor at, then we may down the road move over here and maybe sell our other house. Just a lot of decisions to make, a lot of things up in the air, and it's stressful as hell. I mean, we've essentially taken on 2 mortgages right now, and not to get into finances or anything like that, but just to tell you the difference in buying a house 20 years ago versus even buying a house a year ago when we helped Alexis into hers. To now, it's drastically different. We didn't pay a lot for this house because it needs so much work, but the interest rates are so crazy insane right now that the mortgage on this house is not too far off from others that were more expensive. So it's just a weird time to be buying a house because I don't know how people afford it. Like, I don't mean to go off on another rabbit trail, but my son he's got a couple more classes at college and still trying to figure out what he wants to do with life and everything. And we talk about, what are your plans and all. He's like, I can't afford a house. And so we're looking at things, and I know he's got a buddy that just bought one in a tiny town down the road, and that's really, I don't know how they afford it. I don't know how you get a $200,000, $300,000 house with 7% interest rate on a good day and be able to live. It's really difficult to think of that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's a rabbit trail. I'll save that discussion for another day, but that's essentially how we got here. As you can tell, there is a lot of decisions to be made. It's a really weird mix because as we remodel this house, do we remodel it as if we're moving into it, or do we remodel it as in we might flip it, or what do we do? Like, we got it now, and we're like, what do we do now? Anyway, so just thought I'd do a quick video on the how we got here piece. Like I said, it's a little scary because it was a big purchase and there's just a lot to do. There's a lot to do. regardless of whether we're going to move in or resell or what we're going to do with it. And I have a very full-time demanding job. Luckily, Robert works 4 days a week, so he's always got 3-day weekends, which is great. So he'll be able to do a lot of stuff on weekends that don't require 2 people. That's the only problem there, is a lot of this stuff requires the both of us, if not more people. So we're really restricted on time. I do, we can take some time off work, like take a week off at some point to knock out a bunch of work. But like I said, I have a really demanding job, and sometimes doing that kind of stuff is difficult. But we'll make it work, and we'll get it done as quick as we can. There will be some work contracted out. I'm not entirely sure which pieces yet. We've got to be really realistic about what we can do based on knowledge versus time and versus cost and all that kind of stuff. So tiptoeing through it, one step at a time. Love y'all.